Netflix erases Latinos erased from existence.
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. It's Lant.
Yeah, but isn't this the unplugged version? I don't know. I think it's the unplugged version.
All right, Paulie, let's go.
Paulie back here on the Latino slant. Thank you for checking us out. Make sure you are subscribed. Consider becoming a member of this fine channel. Like and comment, guys. And quick little merchandise plug. Oh, buddy. It seems that Hollywood and its latest, how do you say it? With being, how do I say this with being nice? Hollywood's latest stooge, Netflix, is practicing some good old-fashioned ignorance and racism. Gotta love it. So what is all this tomfoolery that I'm talking about? Well, let's share it right now. A comedy drops a Latina housekeeper character as actor says she's fed up. And who's this actor that we're talking about? We are talking about veteran actress Ada Maris. Ada Maris has been acting since the 80s in shows such as Nurses and Star Trek Enterprise, Garcia Brother, The Brothers Garcia, recently Mayans MC. So when I see a story like this from a veteran actor who's been around and has seen a lot of changes, I my neck instantly just what's going on? And as you can see here in the top stories, I mean, a lot of people covering this: Daily Mail, Variety, The Guardian, People Magazine. I want to go though to NBC News. I think that's for this one, it's the best coverage in here. It's really important, Ada Maris says, that the portrayals see if they get this right. Yeah, that looks good. That the portrayals be more realistic and not hurtful, says Mexican-American actor Ada Maris following her criticism of characters in Netflix's Uncoupled. All right. And this is actually taken from Variety, which would make sense. It's a little more comprehensive, this story. And like we said, Ada has been working in the business since the 80s. Over her long career, it includes Nurses. She was in About Last Night. I remember her in About Last Night. Very nice. More recently, Minds MC and The Garcias. Lately, however, the streaming explosion has pushed the boundaries for premium content outlets. Maris has been encouraged by the rising numbers of TV shows with nuanced characters and authentic portrayals of Latino communities. But in late September, she was shocked to come across the small role of a housekeeper in the first episode of the upcoming Netflix comedy series Uncoupled. She found to be well over the line into offensive. Wow. What is going on, Netflix? This does not sound like the Netflix I know. Or does it? The series stars Neil Patrick Harris as a successful 40-something-year-old professional in New York who has to navigate the dating scene anew after Colin, his husband of 17 years, abruptly walks out on him. Uncoupled, created by Darren Star and Jeffrey Richmond for Jax Media and MTV Studios. And Darren Star, if you guys remember, also created Sex in the City. So there you have it right there. Let's make myself a little bigger. All right. Why don't we do that? There's nothing wrong with that. Let's go on with this story. She's quoted as saying, "When I opened it and saw that it wasn't funny, It was hurtful and derogatory. I was shocked because I walked in expecting something very different given the way things are nowadays and the progress we have made. Hmm, progress. Progress at what expense, right? Progress at the expense of maybe identifying with something that you're not, and also to being happy with table scraps as far as roles in actual films and television. But that's just a thought. That's just a thought. Let's continue here. In a statement to Variety, Netflix apologized to Maris, saying the character was no longer part of the series. We are sorry that Miss Maris hasn't had a negative experience, and this character will not appear in the series, a Netflix spokeswoman said. Maris had been excited when her agent told her that the Netflix was casting for a series to star Harris. When she read the sides for the role of Carmen, the housekeeper for Harris's Michael, in the script for the first episode penned by Starr and Richmond. The character has two scenes. Carmen is introduced as being nearly hysterical on the phone with Michael because she thinks been a burglary in the apartment when she sees that Colin's possessions are missing. Oh, okay. Here we go. We get to do a little. Let's do a little acting with these lines. It says broken English. Mister, I just get here and they stole. The broken English continued in Carmen's next line. They stole. They robbed you. I don't know how they get in. 2021. I mean, Netflix knows Latino representation here. It's very evident. In the second scene, Carmen, here, let's scroll on up so you guys can be a part of this. There it is. Mister. Anytime that a line starts with Mister, the Latinos are in trouble. In trouble, man. In the second scene, Carmen takes a glass that Michael has just washed at a sink and says, no, I do that. You don't clean good. You always leave a ring. Maris was outraged by those lines and the characterization of the housekeeper. She vented at her agent by phone for a few minutes for sending it to her. Veteran actor, has been in the business since the 80s, has been has seen so much change and progress, and gets this garbage, absolute garbage. But the more she thought about it, and the more Maris said she was surprised that the prominent gay men, such as Starr and Harris, would not be more sensitive to caricatural portrayals of people from marginalized communities. Um, okay, all right. I'm not gonna stop there. I have a problem. I have problems with that line, but that's all right. You are modern gay men. How would you like it how would you like to watch or play an outdated, offensive stereotypical gay part? Maris said. Harris is one of 5 executive producers on the series, along with Jax Media, Tony Hernandez, and Lily Burns, Star and Richmond. Harris is not a writer for the show, is not involved in the casting process for the Carmen role. Well, there is no more casting process, right? Because what they just decided to do was just cut it. We don't want to deal with this trouble. We definitely don't want to bring in a uh, maybe a Latino writer who's got some comedy underneath their belt, and bring them in to punch up and fully flesh out this character who could be more than just a housekeeper. Could have some great moments, but they don't want to do that. There's trouble. This troublesome veteran actress complaining. Cut the role. Cut her out. Send the statement out. We're so sorry. Diversity and inclusion, and we're okay. Yeah, pretty typical Hollywood. Very typical. I ain't surprised. Representatives from Harris, Star and Richmond declined to comment, as did MTV Studios. It's unclear if the decision to drop the character was influenced by the backlash from Maris. Uncoupled announced 5 supporting cast members on October 25th, but the Carmen character was not among them. Of course not. Can't even get the good old housekeeper roles anymore. Cut them out because we complained about them. We used to not complain about them. We used to take them and perform. Not we, but that generation of Latino actors performed them with as much dignity and respect as possible. Comment. What do you guys think? It's horrible, man. This is absolutely horrible. You know, I almost don't want to finish this. Pisses me off. Mamadas, man. Mamadas. Ay, Dios. A few days after she read the earlier uncoupled size, Maris channeled her outrage into an open letter that she penned. Good for you, Ada. To Harris and Starr and shared with Variety. She hopes to encourage the creative community to be vigilant about stereotypes, even at a time of great opportunities for characters from underrepresented backgrounds. As an established actor, Maris said she felt an obligation to make an example of what was read in Uncoupled to sensitize writers and producers to the damage that is done by one-dimensional portrayals that cross a line into demeaning. Listen, it's really simple. I have it here. I have the cure. I got the cure, guys. I got the solution because the Latino slant's all about solution and inclusion. Here's my inclusion idea. Okay, hire a great Latino comedic writer if you're gonna have a Latino character comedic in a show, and I guarantee you, not only will that writer kill it on that Latino character, but will kill it for the series for you. It's that simple. It's that simple. Do it, Netflix. Do it today. Gosh darn it. Sometimes people have to sit with the discomfort. I agree. Maris said, I hope that they would rethink this. I hope that they would recognize the harm that it does to everyone, both to people who are Latino and people who are not. That is a great point. The fact that the Carmen character was a housekeeper gave her a bit of pause from the start, but she was open to anything that felt funny and authentic. One of Maris's first TV roles was a maid with a rich story of her own in the 1986 Yakov Smirnoff sitcom What a Country. Maris emphasized that she's gratified to see the expansion of Latino-focused storytelling in Netflix's Gentrified, great point, and One Day at a Time, and more than a decade ago, Ugly Betty. I would also like to add too, in Netflix's defense, Narcos Mexico and Selena, the recent TV show. But it seems that when they're all Latino portrayals, right, or all Latino storylines and characters, those outdated stereotypes really don't exist anymore because the story uses those stereotypes to bounce off of and tell a great story. Where we're having problems still, and you're seeing this with Aaron Sorkin's comments on the Ricky Ricardo casting, the Being the Ricardos casting, and calling Brazilians not Latino actors, and having problems with Spaniards playing Cubans. I mean, when the Latino is a part of the mainstream story, there's a very narrow view from that mainstream writer of what a Latino really is. And this is 2021, and this has got to stop. So I mean, Maris is putting herself on the line with doing this. I'd be really curious to see how they treat her career going forward. She's a veteran. She's done some fantastic work, like I said. In 2019, Maris hit a high with series regular role in Mayans MC, while also starring with her husband, actor Tony Plana, in a play in Luis Alfaro's Mojada in New York. Finally, let's just jump towards the end here, which I really like. I'm just fed up, Maris says. If I'm not going to say anything now, when I'm going to say something? I just want writers to think the next time they write a character like that. I'm speaking out for the younger actors coming up so they face even less of that than my generation has. Great point. Maris reiterates that vigilance against racist tropes that are reflected in mainstream media is vital because of the influence that TV and movies have on pop culture on people. Young people are impressionable. These media images shape our ideas of ourselves. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that line. That's why it's really important that the portrayals be more realistic, not hurtful. We need to see ourselves more like we really are. And yeah, it is Ada, it's totally valid argument. And you know, it touches upon a few issues here, right? Like we had said before, when like a mainstream production that mixes different characters or different backgrounds and goes for the same housekeeper. It's like, okay, Latinos are housekeepers. That's not the point, right? Let's see how you can write a role that's comedic and dignified, right? And equally as three-dimensional as these other characters. So I'm not surprised. Now, the kind of like the the next action that Netflix took to erase the role, to write the role out, speaks to just Hollywood's legacy of just complete ignorance and complete lack of care to the Latino community, not the Latinx. If you fit the Latinx role that they wrote for you, right? Hear me out. That they wrote, that they have in mind for you, then you're fine. So something as trivial as a small role as a housekeeper, to where an actor speaks out, and God bless you, Ada, for doing that, and your husband Tony Plano, who's just equally talented, been in so many great films, Born in East LA, Three Amigos. These guys know real stereotypical roles from back in the day. So when something like this comes across their desk to audition for, you best believe someone's going to hear about it. And Hollywood, get your shit together, man. Don't write us out. Don't erase us. If you come at us, come correct. That's it. We're the Latino Slant. We have new videos every day. We have a live show every Wednesday night. Thank you guys so much. Have a good one. And wherever you are at, keep your slant fuerte. Let us know what you think, guys. I'm out.
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. The slant.
Yeah, but isn't this the unplugged version? I don't know. I think it's the unplugged version.
All right, Paulie, let's go.